the freezing dawn of December 29, 1890, the snow-covered plains of South Dakota turned red. By the end of the day, more than 250 Native American men, women, and children lay dead. The U.S. government would call it a battle. History now calls it a massacre. This is the true story behind the Wounded Knee Massacre, a tragic chapter that marked the violent end of the American Indian Wars and changed the course of Native American history forever. To understand Wounded Knee, we must first understand fear. In 1890, many Native American tribes were suffering. Their land had been taken. Buffalo herds were nearly extinct. Reservations were overcrowded, and food was scarce. Out of this despair came hope in the form of a spiritual movement called the Ghost Dance. The Ghost Dance promised something powerful. If Native people performed the sacred dance, their ancestors would return, the buffalo would come back, and white settlers would disappear. To desperate communities like the Lakota Sioux, this message spread like wildfire. But to U.S. authorities, it looked like rebellion. Government agents grew nervous. Newspapers sensationalized it. Military leaders prepared for war. Then came the death of Sitting Bull, the famous Lakota leader, killed during an attempted arrest on December 15, 1890. His death sent shockwaves through the Lakota people. Many fled in fear. One group, led by Chief Bigfoot, headed toward Pine Ridge Reservation, seeking safety. They never made it. On December 28, 1890, the U.S. 7th Cavalry intercepted Bigfoot's band near Wounded Knee Creek in South Dakota. The same 7th Cavalry that had fought and lost at Little Bighorn 14 years earlier. This time, they surrounded approximately 350 Lakota, mostly women and children. Chief Bigfoot was sick with pneumonia. He raised a white flag. The Lakota were escorted to a camp near Wounded Knee Creek and ordered to surrender their weapons. At dawn the next morning, soldiers attempted to disarm the group. Tension filled the air. Accounts differ on what happened next. A shot rang out. No one knows for sure who fired it, but within seconds, chaos exploded. The 7th Cavalry opened fire, not only with rifles, but with rapid-fire Hotchkiss cannons positioned on a nearby hill. Lakota men were gunned down. Women running away were shot in the back. Children hiding in the snow were killed. It wasn't a battle, it was slaughter. When the firing stopped, the snow was littered with bodies. Estimates say between 250 and 300 Lakota were killed. Nearly half were women and children. 25 U.S. soldiers also died, many likely from friendly fire. Days later, a blizzard swept through the area. When burial crews arrived, they found frozen bodies scattered across the landscape. Victims were thrown into a mass grave. In 1891, the U.S. government awarded 20 Medals of Honor to soldiers who participated. To many Americans at the time, this was framed as a victory. But to Native communities, Wounded Knee symbolized betrayal and the violent suppression of their culture. The massacre effectively ended the American Indian Wars. Armed resistance was broken. The frontier era was over. Wounded Knee wasn't an isolated incident. It was the result of decades of broken treaties, forced relocation, starvation policies, and cultural destruction. The Lakota had once roamed freely across the Great Plains, but after gold was discovered in the Black Hills, land sacred to them, the U.S. government violated previous agreements and seized the territory. By 1890, Native Americans were confined to reservations, stripped of independence. The Ghost Dance wasn't a war movement. It was a spiritual cry for survival. But fear, fueled by racism and misunderstanding, turned it into a perceived threat. And fear, combined with military power, led to tragedy. Wounded Knee did not fade quietly into history. In 1973, members of the American Indian movement occupied the same site in protest, drawing global attention to Native rights and treaty violations. Today, Wounded Knee remains a powerful symbol. For many, it represents the darkest consequences of expansion and cultural intolerance. For others, it is a reminder that history must be confronted honestly, not softened. The story of Wounded Knee challenges the traditional narrative of the American West. It forces us to ask difficult questions. Who gets to write history? What is called a battle? And what is truly a massacre? And how should a nation remember its past? The snow has long melted at Wounded Knee, but the echoes of that morning in 1890 still linger, and the true story deserves to be told. If you found this deep dive into American history powerful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more untold stories from the past. Because history isn't just about dates, it's about truth.